I'm a spirit channeler and oracle card reader who channels both light and shadow energies in my readings, which means if you're easily triggered, please find yourself another reader. Message from the fairies. From left to right, card 1, 2, and 3. Pause the video if you need some more time to choose, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, Pal 1. So the fairies are telling me that you're dissatisfied with your life, but you don't know what you want for your life. And that indecision is making it impossible for you to manifest anything substantial, anything that will substantially change and alter your life and progress it and make it better. In order for you to receive anything from the universe, you have to know what it is you want to receive. Otherwise, you're just going to get a bunch of random crap that you don't necessarily want. And that random crap is also coming to help you to narrow down what you do want and what you don't want. So I just see a bunch of confusion and a bunch of passivity, not doing much, not wishing for much. Well, there is wishing, but there's wishing in a sort of grand, vague sense. There's no concrete details to the wishing that you guys are doing, because when it comes to the details, you don't have them. You don't know specifically what you want. Like, you know generally that you want to, for example, make enough money to be comfortable, but you don't know exactly how much that is, and you don't know what you want to do to earn that money. Or you know generally what you want to do, but you don't know specifically like what company or what position or that you would want to fulfill. And as an example, so they are saying that you need to connect with your subconscious and your superconscious and make decisions. Get in touch with what it is that you truly want and start making decisions, because you won't be able to receive anything if, like I said, you don't know what you want. So I would recommend making some lists. Start listing out some things, even if you have to cross things out. So maybe use a pencil, and don't be afraid to cross things off the list that you change your mind about as you're creating your list. But you need to make a concrete list with details about what you want. Like, for example, if you want a car, you know generally that you need a car. Well, what kind? You know generally that you want to go back to school. Okay, but what program or which university? You know generally that you want to move and get a new apartment or get a new home, but like which area and when? Like, you know that you generally want to move and get there, but like when? Like, come up with a concrete date, come up with a concrete area. And these are just examples, but you're being urged to come up with concrete dates, positions, areas, details in general, specifications, time frames, and that sort of stuff. You may find it difficult at first because you guys have a tendency to sort of sit on the sidelines and just kind of take what the world gives you and not really put in a lot of effort to change it, to improve it. Again, it's because you have no direction. So if you're going to put energy into improving your situation, but you don't know what area or like how to specifically apply that extra energy, then you're just going to be wasting energy. And because you guys are so flip-floppy, you may have found in the past that putting in energy resulted in no proper results. and that made you believe that you don't really have manifestation abilities, or that you can't really get things that you want. But you'll find that you were kind of wishy-washy about the things that you quote unquote wanted in the past. You don't have a tendency to be detailed and specific. So pull out some paper and a pencil and get to work with writing down some lists. Don't be afraid to scratch things off the list or to amend things that are on the list. But you need to start making specifics about every area of your life, because you're kind of floating around in no man's land, and that needs to end. So those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pile 2. So your message from the fairies is that you are about to make contact with a aspect of yourself or an external entity that you've been trying to make contact with. So this could be it seems like for a lot of you guys, this is your higher self. You've been trying to make contact with your higher self. For some of you, it may have been some shadow work that you were doing, trying to make contact with your shadow and integrate some things. Others of you were trying to contact an external entity, another spirit, another being. There is an opportunity opening up for this contact to be made, and it is being made. And there appears to be some information that you wanted to get from this aspect of yourself or from this entity, and you're going to get this information. Now, you could get this information clairvoyantly or clairaudiently, claircognizantly, or you could hear it from someone else. Like someone else could tell you something, like maybe you'll go see a reader and the reader will tell you something, or maybe a friend of yours, an acquaintance will say something, or you'll see some kind of sign, but you'll know that that's the information that you've been looking for. So you have to think back to what you were trying to contact. Was it an external being? Was it an aspect of yourself? And try to remember what kind of information, if it's been a while, try to remember what kind of information you were trying to get. And if it hasn't been a while, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So that information is coming. If you've been trying to make a decision about something, or trying to make decisions about your life, but you don't know which decisions to make, what to do, the answers are coming. Some of you guys, you will get the answer from a psychologist or therapist. So there's a period of connection and information, connection to information that's coming through. So be vigilant, pay attention. Let's see if I'm seeing anything else. This information is going to help you grow as a person. I'm feeling called to actually read a section from the book for this card right here. So Epona's wild daughter, Dorca, is the Sphinx whose riddles must be answered lest we otherwise be destroyed by our own internal conflicts. So like I said, you're going to be getting some information. There's some sort of internal conflict or some sort of decision that you need to make. So you're going to be getting those answers, as it says in the first opening line. Dorca reminds us that we cannot go forward until we have faced something buried within us that is holding us back. Her presence in a reading tells us that finding and working through this is a task of some urgency. We can expect help in this from other people, from the fairies and from our dreams, but we must be open to these difficult questions and answers and be ready to face things about ourselves that are not as we would wish them to be. So also pay attention to your dreams. That's what that line is saying. The answers could come through there. You may have been asking some difficult questions, so you're going to get the answers, as it says. She urges us to heal the unresolved issues about who we really are and what we truly want to be. So again, some confusion about what to do with your life or some confusion about who you truly are, the answers are coming. This is part of the required course in Self-Transformation 101 that we are all enrolled in here on planet Earth. The answers to her riddles often come in a sudden burst of enlightenment, like the solution to a Zen koan. We may watch a leaf fall or catch a glimpse of the tiny sliver of the new moon in the sky and suddenly be hit by the answer. Before that happens, we usually work long and hard upon the question, searching and digging for an answer. The realization, when we really have it, will be transformative. We will no longer be the people that we were once. You don't like this interpretation? Well, I have been telling you all along that we, you and I and everyone else, will all receive varying messages from the fairies in the cards. Yours may well differ from mine. Ask Dorka what message she has for you, and don't be surprised if her answer is another question or riddle. She and I both wish you well in solving it with all our hearts. So that's really embodies what I was saying in this reading. You're going to be receiving some answer to some long held question. And I do see like there was some kind of meditation or some sort of ritual that you guys did to try to get this answer, and the answer is coming. So be vigilant, pay attention because it may come in a subtle way. So those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So your messages from the fairies is that you guys are trying to do something creative, or you have an inclination. You're receiving like a inspiration to do something creative. It appears to be creative, but it's to do something that's new, like a new hobby or something, or produce something create something that's creative. And but you're being blocked because of some fears. Now, I pulled some cards to try to get some more information about what these fears are, and I'm seeing that it has something to do with you being deep down. This is like subconscious here, because maybe to your conscious mind it's going to sound like bullocks, but below the consciousness, this is what I'm seeing. You are afraid that this creativity or this artistic expression or new form of expression, self-expression, will interfere with the image that you hold of yourself. So for example, if you have an image of yourself of being poor, destitute, with an inability to do anything substantial, but the art or the self-expression that you are creating is rather amazing, and that would contradict your subconscious belief that you can't produce anything worthwhile and that you have to remain poor, and this self-expression could potentially, if marketed, make you a lot of money. That's an example. But you're afraid that it's going to interfere again with the image that you have of yourselves. For some of you guys, even with the image that you project to other people and that other people have of you. So some of you guys might be afraid of what like other people will think if you were to continue with this self-expression. So you may find that you're receiving inspiration to do this self-expression thing, this art or whatever this is, but you're simultaneously blocked. You have like a writer's block or an artist's block, some sort of creative block, simultaneously as you're feeling inspired to do this. And that block is this fear that I'm talking about. So I'm going to see, what can you do about this? They're saying that there is something to be done. Something can be done. Okay. I got a lot of cards. Hold on. Got a lot of cards. Got this one again. Got this one again. Okay. You've got to cultivate a desire to be more like the creative individual that you could be, the expressive and passionate individual that you could be, and less of the mediocre one that you are, at least in this instance. So you've got to cultivate the desire to be that artistic version of yourself, that expressive version of yourself. It needs to be more important to you than maintaining the old status quo, the old mediocrity. You've got to almost lust after being this newer version of yourself. Otherwise, the older version of yourself, the mediocre version, is going to take over, is going to continue to thrive at the expense of this passionate, more expressive version of yourself. So you've got to question, like, which version of you is more important. And yeah, you might be able to hold on to both versions simultaneously. It doesn't mean you have to completely give up the way that you currently are, the version that you currently are, the image that you're currently projecting, but it needs to be secondary or weaker than the newer one. And that's going to release the block, and you're going to be able to express yourself like you're feeling inspired to do. So doing things like mirror work, affirmations, visualizations, that may all help with merging with this newer version. So those are your messages. I hope that helped you and resonated. Let me know if it did, and I will see you in my next reading.